Hello guys and welcome to the BP Gaming Network. We are playing Out of the Park Baseball 19, featuring our Oakland Athletics franchise, the 2018 season. So we're already into the month of May, and we've played the first week of the month. And so today we're gonna just show you guys how the week has been, what new changes we've made, and where the team is at so far. So if you watched our last video, it was basically a month-end review. We looked at our minor league system and just looked at the team and the overall MLB standings. So the month of May so far has started out okay. Albeit we've had a couple of injuries that are starting to impact the team, and so as a result, we've made some moves here and there. But performance-wise, we've actually started the month pretty okay. So here we go. Let's just do a recap and show you guys how the first week of May went. So here's the calendar. So you could see May 1st. We played a game against the Seattle Mariners. This was a 3-game series, and then it was followed by another 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles. So out of 6 games that we played this week, we won 4 games and lost 2. So that's a really positive start to the month. And let's kind of just dig in a little bit deeper. So game 1, we lost this game 5-3 to the Mariners. We had our ace Sean Manaea pitching. He didn't do very well in this game. He was out for 6 innings and gave up 10 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned runs, and his ERA was 4.50. You could see strikeouts. He only had 1 strikeout the whole game. He was relieved by Lou Trevino, who pitched in 2 innings, didn't give up a run. So not a good outing. I mean, we expected a little bit better, and maybe this is partly why we lost this game. Offensively, the team did try its best to contribute to the offense, but we weren't getting as many runs, even though some of the guys were making good contact with the bat and everything else. Chris Davis had a double in the 5th inning against Ramirez. And that was pretty much most of the offense. He contributed 1 RBI, and then Jet Lowry and Marcus Semien contributed an RBI each. Pitching-wise for Seattle, they had their starting pitcher was Erasmo Ramirez. He pitched in 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, and just 2 earned. His ERA is 2.37. Their relievers came in and held it down for the rest of the game, securing the win for them. Player of the game was Gene Segura for that game. So that's how that went. Game number 2, again, still against Seattle. We won this game 5-1. Our starting pitcher was Andrew Triggs. Triggs performed really well. He pitched in 6 innings, gave up just 2 hits and only 1 run and 1 earned run. He had 2 strikeouts, and his ERA at that point is 2.88. So an excellent outing for Triggs. Our bullpen came in with Yasmero Petit and Liam Hendricks, and basically shut down Seattle for the rest of the game, securing that win for us. So we only gave up 1 run, which was excellent. Offensively, Stephen Piscotty came through with a double. Marcus Semien came through with a home run in the 4th inning, and we were able to manufacture at least 4 runs for this game. Actually, 5 runs. Sorry. For Seattle, they had a good pitcher, actually. James Paxton was pitching for Seattle. He struggled a bit. He pitched in 5 2/3 innings, giving up 5 hits, 5 runs, and 4 of them earned. His ERA went up, I should say, to 3.92. He's still pitching okay so far into the season, but this was a rough game for him. Their bullpen also pitched well for the rest of the game. Player of the game was Andrew Triggs for his outstanding performance, and we were very happy with that with that win. Again, you got to keep in mind Seattle is a divisional rival, so the better we play against them, the better we're off in our division. The last game of the series was a win for Oakland as well. It was 7-1 Oakland. Pitching for Oakland was Chris Bassett. So Andrew Triggs and Chris Bassett have really been pitching really well for the first month of the year or of the season, and they seem to be continuing the trend into the first week of May. So you can see Chris Bassett here. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits and just 1 run, 1 earned. He gave up 3 walks and had 3 strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches, and his ERA is now 2.89. So that's really impressive. Bullpen, again, was solid for the rest of the game. Didn't give up any runs. He was relieved by Chris Hatcher and Lou Trevino to close the game. And I think Lou earned that save, if I'm not wrong. For Seattle, they sent out Casey Lawrence. I haven't seen Casey pitch a lot, to be honest, so I cannot tell you what kind of pitcher he is, but he really seemed to struggle in this game. He was really clobbered. He pitched in 4 innings, gave up 11 hits, 7 runs, and 7 of them earned. His ERA is a whopping 8.24, really bad. The bullpen did okay. Offensively, we had doubles by Matt Olson. Also, Matt Olson contributed a home run in the 4th inning. And then we also had a couple other guys come up with some hits that drove in some RBIs. But the highlight here, to be honest, was Matt Olson. And I would like to also point out Matt Chapman. If you remember, we had demoted Matt Chapman to AAA Nashville somewhere mid-month or towards the end of April. And we called him back up just because of his defense and because we still he has this awesome potential. But his defense was really crucial. And I would have to say the first few games of the week have been exciting for Matt Chapman. Though offensively he hasn't contributed as much, although in this game he went 4 for 1 and had drove in 2 RBIs, so that's a positive. Play of the game was Matt Olson, so we were excited with that win. So that win basically meant that we won the series 2-1, and like I said, beating Seattle or any one of our divisional rivals is a beautiful thing. So then on Friday, we started a new series against Baltimore. We started off really well. We won that game 10-8. It was a well fought out battle. Pitching wise, we had Brett Anderson, who pitched very poorly. Brett Anderson just lost it. I mean, he pitched in 2 2/3 innings, giving up 9 hits, 8 runs, 8 of them earned. He gave up 2 walks. Just didn't have his stuff in this game, and so you could see his ERA. I mean, it's unrecognizable, 27.0. So that really is a disappointment there. Bullpen wise, we had our bullpen come in, and I mean, we had to because he was relieved very early in the game, just after 2 2/3 innings. We used up a lot of our bullpen, which was not a good thing because it impacted the rest of the week because we had a lot of guys who were exhausted in our bullpen. But they played well in this game, or at least pitched well in this game. For Baltimore, they sent out Nestor Cortez, and Nestor has just not been having a good season for Baltimore. He pitched in 4 1/3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 9 runs, and 8 of them were earned. Sorry. His ERA 7.41, so it wasn't a good day for both starters in this game. Player of the game was Bruce Maxwell, and if you look offensively, we had Chad Pinder, who came through with a double in the 2nd inning. Bruce Maxwell also had a double in the 4th inning. Dustin Fowler came through with a triple in the 4th inning, and Marcus Simeon as well had a triple in the 5th inning, which was excellent. So you can see there was a lot of offense due to poor pitching by the starters in this game. So player of the game, Bruce Maxwell. Very excited about his season so far. He's been playing really well. There were some special notes in this game. Chad Pinder got injured while running the bases, and Pinder is out for at least 6 weeks or so. Dustin Fowle also picked up a minimal injury, just hip soreness. So he's sort of listed day to day right now for the next 4 days. Baltimore, Austin Hayes also got injured, just a minor injury, which is also listed day to day. At the same time, Emilio Pagan also picked up an injury. So there's a lot of injuries here. We still don't know the fate of Pagan, how long he's going to be out for. We're waiting to find that out. So on Saturday, like I said, with a depleted bullpen, we faced Baltimore again on our second game for this series, and we lost just by 1 run. This was an exciting game. We were trailing for most of the game, as you can see the scoreboard there, and towards the end we try to make a run for it to kind of bring the score to even and maybe get a win, but it didn't pan out. Pitching wise here, we had Trevor Cahill, who really started off poorly in this game. He pitched in 5 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, and 4 of them earned. He had 5 strikeouts though, which was excellent towards the later part of his pitching, but he really didn't perform as we had hoped, and his ERA is 6.86. So not an improvement there, sort of disappointment. Trevor Cahill is somebody that I've been watching closely just because he hasn't gotten his groove, and he's kind of been on and off with his pitching. The bullpen did okay. Santiago Garcia relieved him, and he pitched very well in 2 2/3 innings. And Lou Trevino came in for the last inning and didn't give up a run. For Baltimore, they had Chris Tillman, who pitched okay for them. As a matter of fact, he pitched really well. He pitched in 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 of them, 2 runs, 2 earned. His ERA is 3.73. Chris Tillman was named player of the game here. Offensively, we had a double by Bruce Maxwell in the 9th inning and a triple by Dustin Fowler. Dustin Fowler came in as a pinch hitter. Even though he's got that back soreness, though it's a minimal injury, I brought him in as a pinch hitter, and he delivered for us. He brought in the 1 run that made the score 4-3 actually, and we basically almost had a chance to try and win that game, but it just wasn't meant to be. So he made some good contributions there. So that was game number 2. Well fought battle, but we lost that one. Game number 3, in the last game of the week, Oakland won 6-5. We had Sean Manai back out to pitch, and he actually performed really well. He pitched in 6 1/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, had 2 runs, and just 2 of them earned. He had 5 walks. That's a bit scary, but he also had 7 strikeouts. So compared to his game at the beginning of the week, where he had literally 1 strikeout, this time he pitched well, 7 strikeouts, although he gave up a lot of walks. His ERA went down to 4.27. So for his pitching, Manai was named player of the game. For Baltimore, they sent out Kevin Guzman, who struggled and came out due to injury. He pitched in 3 1/3 innings, only gave up 1 run and 1 earned. His ERA is 4.10. And then their bullpen came in and just continued to struggle. So Guzman picked up an injury for Baltimore. It's unknown how long he'll be out for. So offensively, we had a home run by Marcus Semien in the 6th inning, and another home run by Matt Joyce in the 1st inning off of Kevin Guzman. And that was the final score. So we ended the week pretty well, and I'm glad, like I said, with the result, because 6 games, we won 4, lost 2, not too bad. We also had to make some movement, some decisions in our roster. So let's do this. Let me show you guys some of the major transactions that we made so far in May. So like I mentioned, Chad Pinder got injured, and he's currently on the 10-day disabled list. So he's on 10-day DL. As a result, we had to call up Franklin Barreto from AAA Nashville. So Barreto was called up to Oakland in exchange for Chad Pinder, who's now on the DL. We also had to bring up Renato Nunez. Renato Nunez was injured at the start of the season. He was sent down to the minor leagues on a rehab assignment while we try to sort out our roster. And so his rehab assignment was coming to an end, and we had to make a decision either to DFA, designate him for assignment, and try to force him into the minor leagues, or and risk putting him in the waivers, where we could potentially lose him. Now, I made the decision instead to bring him back up to the active roster, and we decided to option out Matt Olson back down to AAA Nashville. Matt Olson has been struggling quite a bit. As you can see, if we take a look at his batting stats, it's going to 2018 game logs. If you just take a look at the entire month of April, it's just been a struggle for Matt Olson. He's really had a rough time. His current batting average is .219. His power hasn't been there, which is something that we were really hoping to rely upon. He's only got 4 home runs so far into the season. And with a batting average of .219, a slugging average of .368, not the caliber of performance that we expect from somebody with the power of Matt Olson. So due to his struggles, he's still 24 years old. We sent him back down to AAA Nashville, and as a result, we basically decided to bring up Renato Nunez. Again, because of his power. If you look at last year, playing for AAA, he had 32 home runs. And, he doesn't seem to make very good contact with the bat because his batting average is just below sort of the average. So he doesn't hit for average, doesn't seem to get on base that often, but he has the power. So with our lineup, we're trying to stack up guys with power, at the middle of our lineup. So we got Chris Davis, who's usually going to be either in the number 3 hole or in the cleanup hitter position. But before him or after him, we need another power bat. And Matt Olson was that option that we had, but he wasn't living up to it. So I thought, instead of getting rid of Renato Nunez by exposing him to waivers, he has very decent power capabilities. You could see his power rating is plus average, which is outstanding. His 32 home runs in 2017, 23 home runs in 2016, 18 home runs in 2015, and 29 home runs in 2014. That shows you his power potential. So that was the main factor as to why I decided, once his rehab assignment ended, we figured, you know what, let's send Matt Olson down to AAA. Let him work his issues out down there, and we can use another powerful bat in his place. So Renato Nunez is it. All right, so those who've been watching all of our videos, you may remember I was unsure of what to do with Renato Nunez at the beginning of the year. So now we seem to have found an option and a way we could use him and see how he performs, and we'll go from there. So those were all the changes that were made to the team so far at the beginning of the month. There was really nothing else that stood out that we could point out to you guys. So all in all, it's been a good first week of May for Oakland, and we're kind of excited with that positive start. So that's the weekly recap. That's where we're at. We're still in the same spot in our division. The division hasn't changed much, except if you notice, Los Angeles Angels now are number 2 in our division. Texas went on a losing streak, and they've now dropped down to the 3rd spot in the division. And Houston is now number 1 in the division. I think they were towards the end of the month of April. Los Angeles was always lurking in 3rd spot. Now they're in that 2nd spot. Texas, surprisingly, has now dropped down to number 3 spot. Oakland is in that number 4 spot, and Seattle continues to be last in our division. That's about it for a weekly recap. Short video. Just wanted to show you guys how the team performed, where we're at, and if we take a look at next week, we're going to start a new series, and we have another divisional matchup here against the Houston Astros. So the number 1 team in our division, that will be Monday, April 7th. We'll start that new series, 3-game series, and then we will be heading out on the road. Actually, this is all road trips now coming up. So the Houston game will actually be the last of our homestand, and then we'll start our road trip. As you could see, the next, I would say, week and a half, starting with this New York Yankees series. It's a 3-game series starting on the 11th of May. We will be in New York at Yankee Stadium, and followed by another 3-game series against the Boston Red Sox. So we'll be in Boston, Fenway Park. And then we will face the Toronto Blue Jays in Toronto. So it's a short road trip, and we'll be back home to face the Mariners by the 22nd of May. So that's how the schedule looks like for Oakland. It's going to be tough because all these teams are tough teams. So we'll see how we perform for the next week. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment, give us your opinions, suggestions, questions, whatever you have. Really appreciate you guys watching. We'll hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.